Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a hat using my Sentro knitting machine. So this is the Sentro knitting machine if you haven't seen one. I use this machine occasionally, and recently I've been using it a lot to make hats, and this is the hat that I'm going to be demonstrating how to make. It's easy, it's reversible, so you can wear it on either side. And it's an adult hat, and it can also fit a teen because it's stretchy. So, and you can either wear it slouchy or you can fold and have a brim like this. So there are many options, and this is a project that you can be done within 30 minutes. If you're experienced, you can even be done faster. And if you're lucky and your yarn doesn't catch or anything like that, then you can be done even faster. So I usually typically take about 30 minutes if everything goes well, if I don't have to pick up a stitch. So it's a very good kind of project because it's what I call instant gratification. So finish quickly, and within 30 minutes you have a finished object. And I'm going to be using this yarn, and this is Hobby Lobby yarn B. It's called Rustic Romantic. This color is called Okie wheat, and the content is 85% acrylic and 15% hemp. It's a 4-weight. You can also knit or crochet with it, and if you're going to do either of those, for the knitting you're going to need US 7 knitting needles or 5mm or 4.5 millimeter knitting needles. If you're going to crochet, you need a J or 6mm crochet hook. So I'm going to mix these colors, and this one is called Chicory root /35. That's weird, but that's what it says on the label. So these two are what made this hat. So, and some of these, this year I'm doing a lot of yarn stash basting projects, and some of these have been sitting in my stash for a while, and so that is why I'm using my knitting machine, because then I can use them up really quickly, and I'm going to be either gifting these or donating them. So I don't know which one yet, but I'm going to just have finished objects, and when I find out where I can donate them, or if any of my family friends like them, then I can give them to them. So let me go ahead and cake this yarn, because I always cake my yarn and then I'll cast on, and I'll take you along as I work on this project. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, and welcome back. All my yarn is caked and it's ready to go. And so I'm going to get started making this hat. So I'll start by cranking to the white needle, which is the center of the machine, or the beginning of the rod, or the ending of the rod, depending on how you look at it. And so I'm going to cast on. So I'll drop a tail in the middle, and then the yarn goes in front of the white needle like this, and then I'll start casting on, and it's back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, and you keep doing this until you come back to the white needle. And then once you come back to the white needle, you insert your yarn in this groove that's over here. Okay. And then I'm going to pass it through the first hole in the tensioner down here. And then I'm going to clear my stitch counter because on this specific hat I want to do 140 rows because I want the brim to be big or to be larger. And so I'll go ahead and get started. And when you're making a hat, it will take you about 30 minutes if you're lucky and everything goes well. And so it's a good way to use up your yarn that you have in your stash, or at least that's how I've started to use my machine. And so I'll keep going until I get to that spot where I need to change yarn again, and then I'll cut this yarn and add the new one. And I know that there are extensions that you can add. I think it's an electric drill that you can add to go faster, but I'm only using this machine for my own purposes. I'm not using it for anything that I'm going to put in my shop or something like that. So at the moment I don't have any plans to buy the drill that you can use to go faster. And my table is not the best, but I'm just making it work the way it is. I might be able to get a better deal if I work off of my kitchen counter, but it's too high for me. So for now, I'm just gonna use what I have. So I'll make 70 rows with this color and then change colors and make 70 rows with this darker color. And we are getting close. We are on row or round number 67, so I have 3 more to go. And that is 69, so this is my last round. Well, it says 69, but well, that's 70. And so I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to install this new one. And that gets thrown in the middle as well. And I always hold my yarn together like this when I install a new one to make sure that it goes past that needle. And then I need another 70 rows. So I'll keep going until my counter reads 140. Hopefully there's enough yarn to make 70 rows. It looks like this leftover yarn is not going to be enough, but I have another ball, so I'm going to add. So I have another extra ball of these, so I'm going to add. So I have to add this new yarn because I ran out, but I'm almost done. So okay, and that's 140 rows or rounds. I'm going to move all these yarn aside and finish this hat. So I have my needle, and I'm going to start picking up all these stitches. Oops. But I've got it. So that one came off of the machine. Okay, and so I have all my stitches. So I'm going to move the machine out of the way. And I had put some tape to try and hold it, and it helped a little bit. And just clear this table, make room. Okay, so we are all done. And so the next step is turn this inside out. And I'm going to tie these together. Just a few times. And then come to this spot where I ran out of yarn and trim the excess, and then do the same. I'll make a couple of knots here to make sure that it's anchored properly or it's secured. And I don't worry about leaving the tail inside because this is going to be between the layers, so it's not gonna show. And then what I normally do is I go back and look through the stitches at the end where I ended and make sure that I picked up every stitch. And I did. And then the next thing is to stretch so that your stitches can be well defined. Even though I got lucky with this yarn and it worked up really well, the stitches are uniform and there's not much to do. And so the next thing I do is cinch the top. But I also make sure that my stitches are well balanced. And I don't finish it completely because I want to pull this through. And then I'll come to this other side where I started and I'll do the same. But before I finish that completely, then what I do is I tighten these. And I'll run my needle through those stitches one more time just to secure them a little bit more. And so I'll just run my needle through because this is going to go into the washer and the dryer. or so I think. Let me see what the yarn says. It's 85% acrylic and 15% hemp. So I believe at least it's machine washable. In most cases, I don't dry my handmade things, even when it says, I don't put them in the dryer, even when it says you can. Unless they are blankets that I'm using a lot. Okay, I believe that is secure enough, and so I'm just gonna push it back inside and make sure the yarn is outside. And then I'll do the same thing for this side, the cast on edge. Just balance my stitches, make sure they are looking good, because I don't want it to, I want it to be smooth at the top. And so I think this is too much yarn. It's too long, so I'm gonna trim a little bit. And then thread the needle again and do the same for these stitches. And this just helps to secure them a little bit so that it can withstand wear and tear and not accidentally fall apart. Okay, and I think that's good. And so I'll go put my hand on the inside. And it's not bunched up, so it's smooth on all sides. And once I ascertain that, then I'm going to tie these two together and tighten, and just tie them again a couple of times. Yeah, it's smooth enough. And then the last thing I do, and this is optional, I'm going to run my yarn through again between the layers, because I believe it gives it more, it keeps it more secure. So I'm going to put my hand inside and just run this needle through. Couple of times. And I think that is secure enough. And then I'm going to thread these in between the layers. Yeah, I was afraid of that happening. But it's in between the two layers, so can trim it or just use a crochet hook to pull more of it inside. Well, it doesn't want to go. You can just trim it at this point, but and now I can trim that. Oh, I'm happy with how it looks. So it's hiding in there, so that should be good. And you have your finished hat, and this one has a big brim, and you can wear it whichever side you like. It has a nice brim, and I have one of these little tags. This one has a sheep on it. It's cute, and it's removable, so you can take it out when you're washing, or if you don't like it, you can take it out. Or when I get a different color, like I think a tan would look better than the black, but that's all I have right now. So gives a nice finishing touch, and you're all done. And it took us maybe about 30 minutes, and it's ready to wear. So you can wear on the brown side or on the gold side. So I hope you enjoyed making this hat with me. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. And until next time, happy knitting!